one thing goes without saying, you take the police in the United States seriously.
Of
There are
course.
good cops, there are bad cops. We're not going to get into a debate about that today, but there
Most cops are amazing from what I know.
is etiquette in America when you meet a cop. You do not get out of your car. I have been told this so many times. You do not get out of your car if you're pulled over in a vehicle. And also,
Okay, this is actually something that I'm aware now, but I wasn't a couple of months ago. I thought it was okay to leave the car.
you are meant to put your hands on the wheel where they can see them. This is because pew-pews are a thing in America, whereas they are not so much of an issue in most parts of Europe. In Ireland, if a
But they don't shoot you right away if you leave the car, right? Okay, I'm not leaving, by the way, but today I'll be reacting to 10 rules non-Americans must obey when visiting the USA. My friends, I'm excited for this one. If you are not aware, this is the year I will visit America. I cannot wait, but I want to play by the rules, so this video could be very important to me. Before we go into that, let me ask you for one thing. If you can leave a like, thank you so much. It's the best way to show support. Now, if you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Link for the original video in my description and what?
oh, there's Uncle Jim. We'll let Uncle Jim come in. Oh, he's a police
Uncle
officer.
Jim?
He can go next. You do not, never, ever, ever.
What?
Calm down, Diane. So
Jesus, okay, this is a really interesting start.
today we are going to talk about 10 social rules or social cues that foreigners must obey when they go to the
Oh my god, she's so aggressive today. Okay, calm down, Diane. Okay, must obey. So basically, if I screw this up, I may get deported. Okay.
United States of America, or they'll be lynched. Do you still lynch? You don't lynch.
Sorry, now I'm nervous. My friends, let's all take a deep breath. Let's go into this.
Just good to follow the social cues. Europeans and Americans are quite similar in the
They
face
are.
of it. Most of us speak English.
No, sorry. Oh my god. That's not because we are similar because of Western values. A lot of people in Europe don't speak English. Of course, people in Ireland speak English, but you guys know what I mean.
Largely parts of Western culture, but we're so different. There are so many things that are different, and those are the things that I find interesting and
Like what?
exciting. Exciting. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that I find super interesting is how quick American people, not all, but some, do I need to do that disclaimer in this video? We're talking in generalizing.
Okay.
Some Americans are very quick to diagnose you. I've been diagnosed in comments with
Very quick to diagnose you. Oh, but this is Americans trying to help you most of the time. Of course, if you really want a real diagnostic, you have to diagnose. Is that the word in English? I hope so. You need to go to a doctor. But okay.
everything from bipolar disorder to schizophrenia.
Are we really surprised?
I do find American people like a label, and I think that can be a good thing and a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing that mental health issues are becoming more aware. Also, diagnoses, like somebody suggested to me recently, maybe I had
Dyscalculia. Oh my god, what the hell is that word? So in terms of diagnosis, the only thing I got diagnosed by you, my friends, is that I'm Russian. And that's wrong, actually. I'm Portuguese, but my accent... yeah. Someone even said that I remember a character in Sesame Street, a Dracula or something. I don't even know.
Dyslexia with numbers. I didn't even know that was a technical thing. I think I'm just bad at numbers, but from an American's perspective, it was the smart thing to try and give it a label. Sometimes I do think a label can be good. It can help you get help if you need help, but other times I'm like, sometimes you can live to your label. Another thing, for example, is I've always had anxiety and I've gone through bouts of depression. And I find that some Americans are very quick to use that as a signifier of your entire personality. Whereas for me, it's just a thing that I have gone through. I might go through again at stages in my life, but it doesn't define me.
She's fun.
Okay, that's fair. But now being a bit more serious, my friend, mental health problems I know are really difficult to deal. If you have someone in your family, for example, is also very complicated. And this is a topic that I don't want to joke about that much, to be fair, because it's very serious. You know what I mean? always seek help. There is always people to help you. But I agree with him. If you have a problem, a mental health problem, that does not define you. It's just another thing that you have to work on.
But she's crazy.
Again, a good thing and a bad thing about this is awareness is really, really good. If you know what is going on, you can identify it, you can get it sorted out. But another thing is there can be a tendency to over-medicate when you diagnose somebody with something. Now, don't get me wrong, medication does have a time and a place, but it happens, in my opinion, like a really lot in the USA compared to Europe. The next thing that you guys
Okay, that topic, my friends, I'm gonna be real. I don't can add a lot because what I would say is if you are struggling, seek help. If you have any type of problems, a doctor will be your best friend. And I mean, yeah, I people that deal with anxiety. Oh, that's a difficult word actually. Anxiety. That I assume that's very difficult to live your life. So all my love goes to you, my friend.
need to know that it's a big difference between Americans and Europeans is American people do not like staring. Now, I do think
I mean, I also don't like if people stare at me. My friends, are you guys doing that right now? Okay, I allow it.
Irish people and people in the UK also don't like staring. If you stare at people in Ireland or England, I think in Scotland too, you will get like a not so great reaction. People
My friends, this is just between me and you. If you stare people, no matter what place you are talking about, I feel like you can get in trouble. I'm telling you, this is not just about America or the UK.
can deem this to be an aggressive thing. Whereas in countries like Italy, Spain, staring is very normal. It's part of the culture. Children stare and they're not told it's like necessarily a bad thing. And I asked my niece.
Okay, but I mean, let's be real here. If you are, let's say, in a public place in America and there is a kid staring at you, you may say hi to him, but you know, it's not a big deal. It's a kid at the end of the day. If instead of the kid is the father, you are like, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? There is quite a big difference.
About it because she grew up in Spain and she said that it's not staring, it's just looking. And you can't really argue with that, I suppose, especially with a child. You're just looking, you want to know what's happening. But in a
No. Sorry, Diane, I have to be honest here. This is wrong. There is a big difference between looking and staring. If you look, it's like this. If you stare, you are like this. You know what I mean? It's quite different.
America, if you stare, it is not a good thing. However, there's a definite out in America if you find yourself staring. I do stare off into space sometimes. I'm not even looking at anything, but I'll just be like...
Okay.
Anyway, the out, if you are in the United States of America and you find yourself accidentally staring at somebody, is to smile. Really simple. Americans freaking love smiling. Yeah. They love smiling at each other. I think it's a lovely thing that you guys
Americans
do.
Are amazing.
And yeah, that's your out. If you're caught staring at an American, just smile. They might think you're hitting on them, but that could be good or bad too. In a similar vein, American people really like their personal space, and depending on where you are from, in Europe, it might not be a thing that you're super into.
I think everyone, again, likes personal space, but this is where I think she may have a point actually, because in America, probably the standard, let's say, for personal space is different than it is in Europe. And at the end of the day, you guys have a lot of land, you know, so having space is probably something normal to you.
Noticed, and the more people I've said it to have agreed with me, Scandinavian people from Europe particularly stand really close to you.
Because it's really cold.
We went to a Swedish supermarket, and when I was there were like people just stand super close to you. I'm probably more conscious of it since the whole social distancing thing. Can we bring back social distancing? That was good. I enjoyed the social distancing. But Americans particularly like their personal space. In fact, I'm pretty sure we first heard the term personal space from Americans.
Really?
Do you mind moving back? You're in my personal space.
I think I heard it when I was a kid, and I was like, that's a great term. I'm going to use that. So if you're Scandinavian, maybe be super conscious of that one. Of course, people in Scandinavian countries have like a really great way of life,
Amazing
lifestyle-wise,
countries.
so, why wouldn't they want to stand really close to each other? The next
Okay, but to be fair, I like this in America. Personal space is very important.
thing you need to be aware of if you are visiting the United States is way more so than in Europe. Be conscious of where you are. You are both
I'm in America.
way safer in the United States and simultaneously way less safe in the United States. There are
What do you
way
mean?
more people in the USA, and there are tons of especially kind people and people you can ask. Americans love being asked stuff. They will help you out. And there are areas in the United States, whole areas, you're really not recommended to go in unless you are from there. This shock
Really? I mean, she's talking about dangerous zones because that is everywhere basically. I mean, if you go to Lisbon, dear my friends, there is certain places that I would say avoid that because we know that there is crime there, stuff like that. But overall, America, I feel like is safe as long you are smart. I guess goes into her point. But if you are not aware, my trip will be New York to Texas and will be a first state that I'm still thinking about. But New York and Texas is already done. But I know in New York, I mean, it's such a major city that I probably have to be a bit more careful. But in Texas, my friends, in Texas, I trust my Texans.
to me the first couple of times I went to the States because pretty much you can wander anywhere in most parts of Europe. There are dodgy kind of areas, but you still can go in them most times. But there are whole no-go areas in the States unless you grew
Oh,
up.
but there is also no-go areas here, my friends. Oh my god, I feel like I'm correcting everything. But trust me, my friends, you don't want to. I mean, and this isn't. I think you guys also know this, right? I mean, it's normal.
Up there are with somebody who grew up there. Another reason it is a little bit more dangerous, well, I say a little bit, I'm probably underplaying that. There are a lot more places for bad people to hide. So you hear about random children being pulled off the street and kidnapped. I'm not saying that doesn't happen in Europe, but there's a lot more places for people to hide. Whereas if you were in a country like Ireland or Spain, it's less easy to hide because they're smaller places. So if you want to murder somebody, go to the
Okay, relax. Okay, never thought about that actually.
easy to hide because they're smaller places. So if you want to murder somebody, go to the United States because you probably get away with it. That's a story for another.
No, we don't. My friends, oh my god, what the hell is this? Are those claims, Diane?
The next social cue, and oh my gosh, this is perhaps one of the
The thing is, America has some of the best cops and, detectives in the world. I actually believe it's a stupid idea to make a crime in America. I mean, it's a stupid idea to make a crime no matter where, right, my friends? That sounded really bad, what I said. But in America, dude...
away with it. That's a story for another day. The next social cue, and oh my gosh, this is perhaps one of the things I am like, go America, I am Team America on
What?
this one. Lines have rules. You stand in your line, you take your turn. This is not always the
Love
case
that.
in European countries.
My friends, the thing here, and look, I don't have anything against old people. I want to make this very clear. But when it comes to lines, specific women, older women, they are crazy. I said it and I don't even want to debate this with you. My friends, the amount of times I'm in a line and there is an older lady that, sorry, I just have one thing. I go first. Okay. If that person asks me, I think I would say yes most of the time. But when they don't ask, pisses me off so much, my friends. You guys have no idea. And here, I'm going to defend men. Older men don't do this, but older women, oh my god, oh man, I'm not sure if this is something that happens only in Portugal, but it is correct. But I'm not sure if this is something that happens just in Portugal, but yes, it is completely crazy. In America, this also happens.
Discovered I was Team America on this when I went to America and was in a line, or what we would call a queue. And one of my biggest pet peeves in the entire world is side queuing. When you're in a line, one person after the other, and then someone just decides to like stand beside you.
Yeah.
Like they know they're behind you, but they're kind of standing beside.
That's a very tricky movie that some people do. Tricky movie? Tricky move movie, English. That some people do that also drives me crazy. People, because they kind of try to sneak in. Oh, I was already here. No, no. Yes. Oh my.
You, and they're like, well, we know, you and I know that I'm behind you. I'm like, but you're just bothering me by standing beside me.
And sometimes they sneak in.
The queue is scrunching up, and it's calm down, Diane.
No,
in America,
I agree.
When
no.
I was in a line and people started to side queue, I could see other people being agitated by the side queue. There are also countries in Europe where lines are very much a suggestion. Most big cities, like places
Portugal.
tourists go, the lines, the queues are followed. But especially if you go somewhere a little bit like outside of a touristy area, like a town hall or something, the queue is not a thing. Oh, there's Uncle Jim. We'll let Uncle Jim come in. Oh, he's a police officer. He can go next. Ugh, it's frustrating. People in America like the queue. They obey the queue.
My friends, I love this about America.
Speaking of police, there are a lot of things about the police you may have heard in the news.
Like what?
However, one thing goes without saying: you take the police in the United States seriously. There are good cops, there are bad cops. We're not going to get into a debate about that today, but there
Most cops are amazing from what I know.
is etiquette in America when you meet a cop. You do not get out of your car. I have been told this so many times. You do not get out of your car if you're pulled over in a vehicle. And also...
Okay, this is actually something that I'm aware now, but I wasn't a couple of months ago. I thought it was okay to leave the car. Because here, you can do it. I mean, you can also stay in the car, but leaving the car is not that big of a problem. But in America, it's quite problematic, right? Okay.
You are meant to put your hands on the wheel where they can see them. This is because pew-pews are a thing in America, whereas they are not so much of an issue in most parts of Europe. In Ireland, if a...
But they don't shoot you right away if you leave the car, right? Okay, I'm not leaving, by the way, but...
police officer pulls you over, you're more inclined to have a casual chat, a conversation. They are taken more seriously in Italy, Spain. Sometimes they can even be a little bit scary. But I also find a thing that Americans do is call the cops officer or sir, whereas that is not really a thing in most parts of Europe. You've heard the term...
Oh, but I always talk very formal with police here. My friends, the thing with bad cops, good cops, for sure that there is bad cops. But I honestly believe, and this may be a hot take, but most cops are amazing as long as you are a respectful person. Some people, they also mess with the police, and then they got, oh, I'm so shocked that this ended up happening. I mean, just be respectful.
Comply, and that is just comply. You say what they want to know, and you get on your way. You don't have chats. You don't have to banter like you do with the Gardaí. English bobbies also are quite usually chatty, but you just keep it formal with the American police officers. Unless you happen to stroll into a casual conversation, which is great. The next social cue you need to know about Americans, and I learned this one the hard way. Americans take competition seriously. You might think, oh, this is a friendly game of snooker. No, they're going to take that seriously.
Really?
Have fun. But say you do something like that would be just a bit of like a jokey thing in like Ireland, snookering somebody so that their ball can't go in. They will take that as a dirty rule, dirty gameplay. Americans...
Number one mentality, my friends. I love this. America is number one. People think they are number one at everything. Respect.
Want to win. They want to win. This is why you're not allowed in Eurovision, America, because you take it too seriously. You would...
Or because they are also not part of Euro to enter Eurovision.
probably win. Americans' way of thinking is they are not going to get into a competition and just have the outcome be like, we had fun. They're like, if I'm going to be in a competition, I'm going to win. I'm going to take it seriously. Americans go all out. The next thing, and I learned this from YouTube comments. Oh, you guys teach me so many things.
What?
Gang signs. Gang signs and gang colors.
Please, no gang signs.
Gang
You want to be
signs.
careful what way you put your hands, because you're probably doing a gang sign. You're probably, I mean, most parts of the States, this is not going to be an issue, but there are, especially in towns and cities, it could be a thing. You don't want to be wearing
What the hell is she talking about? Gang signs with the ends? Oops, sorry. My friends, are you guys aware of this? If so, leave me a comment and explain me what is going on here. First time I hear about this.
red where you should be wearing blue or vice versa. Interestingly, though, the flip
Wait, sorry.
an issue, but there are, especially in towns and cities, it could be a thing. You don't want to be wearing red where you should be wearing blue or vice versa. Interestingly, though, the flip side to this is you can be on
She's talking about Republicans and Democrats. Because I know that's where you guys go blue and red. You should not go to a town that is Republican if you are a Democrat. And you should not go to a town... No, I don't believe this.
an opposing American football team supporter, and you can go sit in the other crowd stands, whereas in soccer/football in Europe, you want to be in your own stands. You're not going to be welcomed too much. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you could go to the wrong kind of match and then it's just not a good time. Another thing that you need to know about social etiquette in the United States of America is you do not, never, ever, ever
What?
discipline somebody else's children. Now, if it's your
I mean, why in the world would I do that? I struggle to to educate mine. Imagine trying to educate the others.
friend, a friend of a friend, a close friend, maybe, you can do that if you know that's okay. But it's just generally you take care of your own children. You don't talk to other people's children. In parts of Europe, it's definitely seen more so like it's the community's responsibility to
Okay, but see, this is a bit of some different information that I'm getting. I reacted to another video, and to be fair, this was an American, that said that, for example, if you go to the South, if your kid have bad manners, people may educate your kid. And I thought that was controversial at the time. But so what's the final point here, my friends? I don't know.
discipline children.
Honestly, it's not in me to educate other kids, like I said. But
So, like, if you're in parts of France and you see children misbehaving, you're okay to go out there and yell at them. Definitely, where I grew up in Dublin, there are certain times where it's seen as, like, if you see a child being bold, you can give out to them. Like, you're okay. But, however, this is starting to change in Europe, and this inspires me to do another list. Let me know if you want to see it. It's things that Europe is adopting from America, because
would
it
love
can
to see
get
that.
you in trouble nowadays. You can't just go around disciplining other people's children willy-nilly, silly. So let me know if you want to see that list. And finally, number one. Oh, actually, before I get to that, while you're here, do subscribe, leave a thumbs up
do it for me.
on the video. It's always a fun time. Leave me a comment. I read them.
Me too.
Always in the first hour club. The number one thing that you need to know that is a social cue in America. If somebody is injured and they need an ambulance, unless they cannot communicate and it is clearly a dire situation, do not call an ambulance. I learned this from
What? But if they need the ambulance, why should I not call the ambulance? I called 911 asking for an ambulance.
comments, and then I researched it, and whoa. In America, you are charged a huge freaking fee to use an ambulance. In most parts of Europe, unless you're going private, you do not have to pay for an ambulance. But they can charge.
Oh, it's free here. Now, so my friends, when I say it's free, there is someone in the comments put it, but you guys pay a lot of taxes. Blah, 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 blah. My friends, I'm just saying the way I live.
Charge astronomical amounts of money to pick you up in an ambulance. So in a lot of cases, American people would prefer to go with their leg hanging off on their bicycle. That would be difficult. Probably in a car. But basically, if you knock somebody over, or if you find somebody on the side of the street looking unconscious-y, but communicative. Ask them, shall I call an ambulance? And if you think they are coherent and they say no, don't do it, because maybe they can't afford an ambulance, and that's a story for another day. And we're gonna leave that one there.
Our first very cute shadow comes.
Okay, that ambulance thing, I'm not sure, my friends. If I see someone struggling, I may call the ambulance. I might pay it I might pay it from my pocket if I need, because you know what? If I see someone struggling, I want to help the person. Is this crazy to say, actually? That said, thank you so much for watching, my friends. Really means a lot. You guys end up staying until the end. A lot of controversial points, I feel like. And look, when I go to America, I will follow all the rules, and I respect American culture too much for me to get in trouble, I feel like. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching this with me. See you guys in the next one. Bye, my friends.